accept and master our own reality until guided otherwise, we desire to be in his reality and then impose upon his reality our shame and filth. We encroached on a reality we were not ready spiritually, morally, or economically to embrace. See, that's key. You hear those three elements? Spiritually, morally, and economically. I'm going to go on. Proof of this encroachment can be seen in the way in which Malcolm X handled the knowledge of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's domestic life. Although Malcolm knew the proper language with which to describe the domestic life of Muhammad, he chose to call the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's relationship to his wives as having sex with his teenage secretaries. This was to conjure up emotion and cause us to paint the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the light of a dirty old man, blinding us to practical reality of God's judgment with regard to his nation as well as his servant. In this emotional state, some called the Honorable Elijah Muhammad immoral, even though many were well able to defend the fact that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was allowed by Allah God 9 wives. At one point, the Prophet had 11 wives. Then Allah caused him to reduce the number to 9. It is written in some account that he possessed concubines as well. His youngest wife, Aisha, was 11 years old when given to him, although he did not have conjugal relations with her until she reached the age of 14. Being overwhelmed by emotion sent us falling backward, causing us the destruction of all that we had sacrificed to build, making it necessary out of Allah God's mercy for me, with the help and guidance, to bring us up again. Now we face a test of similar nature to determine if we are mature enough spiritually, emotionally, and morally to get over the hurdle that the Nation of Islam stumbled over yesterday, without us corrupting our own reality, leading us to encroach upon a reality that is not ours at this time. So, dear family, I want to put it this way. Minister Ava used to always say to us, may Allah forever be pleased with us in the study group, the coordinators. She used to say, many of us are going to get right to the door of our salvation and turn around. I'm going to say that again. To the door. You're going to get to the door of your salvation, and something is going to cause us to turn around. So the question was asked, what's going to be your test? What's going to be my test to challenge the very thing that we know is the truth in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as represented by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that caused us to say, you know what, I'm through with that. I don't want it anymore. I'm done. But you know it's the truth. And they used to teach me when I first came in the Nation of Islam, said, brother, whatever you did before you came in, you did it in ignorance. But if you go back and do that again, you're doing it with knowledge. And Allah is justified in bringing his wrath down on us. Y'all all right, family? I'm going to leave that right there. All you got to do is get this book. This is Study Guide 10 through 18, Volume 2, and study it for yourself. I implore us to get one because we're going to need it in the time that we have entered. So with that being said, I opened up giving you the definition of an introduction. Well, I want to introduce you to some and present to you to others. He's our brother, a hard-working soldier, the Delaware Valley Regional Minister Rodney Muhammad. Let's bring him on with a well-deserved round of applause. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Jason. Assalamu alaikum. How's everyone? In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God to whom praise is due, the Lord of the worlds. We thank Almighty God, the revealer of all truth and the sender of all prophets. We thank him for all of his prophets, from Abraham to Muhammad. And as a student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's life-giving message, I'm most thankful to Allah for his own intervention in our affairs, as it was prophesied and predicted that he would come. And we thank him for his coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. We cannot thank him enough for his wise choice and a messenger Messiah to us in the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And to the two of them I stand before you eternally indebted because of their student, servant, and apostle, our leader, teacher, and guide. Indeed, the Messiah today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. With their names, I extend the Nation of Islam's salutation of peace in the language and tongue of our fathers. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, beloved Brother Joseph, and all of you that have come out, that we might hear a word in its continuance. Even as Jesus said, if you just continue in my word, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And you can't continue in something that you haven't started already. So we trust that all of us have begun some kind of study, but this is a study about our own lives. And men before us that we lift up before we even engage a talk or discussion with you, namely the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Fard Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Each of these men have given themselves to deep, exhaustive study. And it's not study just to gather information and or knowledge, but it's a study of how to take that knowledge and fit that knowledge into the condition of our minds today, because it is in their heart, out of their love for us, that they want us to hear it and receive it. And you'll know when a man or a woman has really received what they are getting from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because like anyone sitting in the sun, when the tan sets in and people see you, you don't have to say anything. They know you've been in the sun. And so a spiritual suntan makes itself known in this world of darkness because you just shine with joy, with gratitude and that. And even people who have little money, as they call the system that we live in, capitalism, you can't really effectively practice capitalism without capital. And the word capitis, the Latin root, it can be found even in the human form. Because if somebody cuts off a hand, that's called amputation. If gangrene sets in someone's leg and they cut part of the leg off, that's called amputation. But if something's in the head and they cut the head off, that's not called amputation, it's called decapitation. Kappa coming from that root capitis, because real money is in knowledge, and knowledge can only live in the head. So what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is giving us from Allah's messenger and Christ is indeed worth a lot more than we have in our pocket, our purse, and even our bank accounts. We are thankful to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I say Ramadan Mubarak to us all. And Assalamu alaikum again, and happy Savior's Day, and all the good things. This Savior's Day, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was so pleased because he could see the spiritual hand of our God on our convention. More important than any asset of a man of God is his follower. And so it is said of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that all the assets that the world talks about that he was able to build and amass during his time of work, none of that equals, and none of that could ever surpass his follower. Because with his follower, he knew he could go to his follower, and anything could materialize that he wanted because his bank was the heart of the listener, the heart of the receiver of his word, and those that chose to follow. The Savior's Day address that our student national assistant, Minister Ishmael, has started, and God knows he'll be sometime with this subject matter. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan gave him maybe, I think he put together about 58 pages of notes. The minister said to us when we sat with him in Detroit, if the words are parsed, taking each word and looking deeper into it, you will see the Nation of Islam's work going forward. Now, we are working, obviously, in an increasingly hostile environment. Already in Congress, I heard that they want to come up with a bill that will not only prevent people from established Muslim nations around the world being able to come here to the United States of America, but they want to trace all of those that have already come and established citizenship here to uproot them and take them out. All of these folks came here, inshallah, looking for a better life. But we didn't see a brochure to get here. And little did they know that one of the largest Muslim groups that would be sitting here would be the black man and woman of America, the so-called Negro. We just didn't know who we were. And not only did we not see a brochure and say, my God, I want to get up and go to America, they came and got us. So we're not necessarily immigrants, and we've been here a long time. Don't let them tell you it's a 1619 project. The Library of Congress actually shows that we've been here since 1555, and that the initial ones of us that came were not illiterate and knew the art and the science of building. They took from them what they could learn and realized that once you know who you are, it's almost impossible to enslave you. You can capture somebody and they can be your captive, but while you have them chained up, you know in their mind they're working on getting them chains off. So they needed someone who didn't need chains here, but they needed chains here. And you really can't take someone that knows who they were, because if they know who they were, they know who they are. If they know what they did, they know what the possibilities are to do. So they had to take us, as the lessons teach us, when we were babies, and raise us on a steady diet of ignorance and fear. And with these kinds of tools, we had no way of knowing anything that could counter what he was teaching us about ourselves, and they beat us all the way down to the level of a beast. Now, we learn that there's a hidden history in both the Bible and the Holy Quran. And that hidden history is the history of the Caucasian. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan reminds us that because we begin with the life germ or sperm, most people don't hold discussions about that. I'm going somewhere with it, but nevertheless, whether you discuss it or not, and no one wants it around anywhere, so it's nothing to speak of, but yet it's a life germ. If it's placed somewhere that does not have the support systems for it to grow into the blueprint that's already in it, it'll never come to fruition. So when people's beginning starts with a humble origin, and the Quran says a time came over man when he was nothing to speak of, most people don't talk about when they were nothing. So I wanted to go there so we could go back to the Caucasian's beginning, that once he was run from amongst us, and you see how they hid it in obscure and coded language. In the Bible, notice that it's in the book of Genesis, which comes from the word genes. So there's a genetic history of a genetic work taking place, and when this people are found to be completely disagreeable to live with in peace, they were run out from among us. And so in the Bible, you will see that there's a family called the tree of the knowledge. Think of that now, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But the careful study of botany out of a metaphor like that teaches us that no tree can grow two different kinds of fruit from the same tree. Y'all with me now, right? And so this represents a family tree of people who have been given some of the divine guidance. And they have also now been given some of the forgotten technology. Everybody don't have this. So ultimately, these people are run from the garden. And you see that there must be other people on the planet, because when Adam and Eve are run from the garden, the language that God uses is set up strong guards. You got to ask yourself, if they're the only people on the planet, where did the guards come from? Set up strong guards. That's a check post. And be sure that they don't get back in, because they want to come back amongst us, that they may touch the tree of life and live forever. The tree of life is not the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So it's two trees now. And that tree of life are the people of Islam, the original people of the earth. And they're run out from amongst us. Okay? That's a hidden history. That when they're run into the caves and the hillsides of Europe without divine guidance, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said they went all the way down to the level of a beast. That's why when Jesus comes, if you look at the scripture, if you're reading your scripture, you'll see that Jesus tells the people that he's connected with Moses because he's connected with the law of Moses, even though they're 2,000 years apart. You can't bring and whisper and bring slack talk in between prophets. Not when one has to be the sequel of another one who has preceded him. Like the general order says, receive, obey, and pass on to the sentinel who relieves me. All orders from the commanding officer, the officer of the day, and the non-commissioned officers of the guard, right? So no prophet gets confused about whatever assignment they're picking up, and no prophet gets confused about whatever assignment they're passing on. They'll let you know if another man is supposed to come to fulfill a certain work. So Moses is said to have been leading the children of Israel out of slavery and captivity from Moses, but you can go all through the Bible. Jesus never talks about Pharaoh. He don't recognize no Pharaoh, no children of Israel being in bondage for 400 years. When he brings up Moses, according to the book of John in the 3rd chapter, he said, as Moses lifted up the serpent of the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted. So if you go down to the nearest clinic, you'll see what Moses lifted up, because it's the scepter of his law with 2 serpents wrapped around it. And from the serpent you get poison, because that's what medicine is. It's poison, and the minister said what keeps you from dying from it is in the hands of a competent physician. He knows just where to apply it and what sickness and disease to apply it to. So Jesus is saying now that Moses had done another work. It had nothing to do with Pharaoh. It had nothing to do with Egypt. People ought to want to know, where is this wilderness? And why is he in the wilderness? And why isn't he there dealing with Pharaoh? And when he confronts the Jewish scholarship about the truth would set him free, they let him know, we know our history, and from our history, we have never been in bondage to any man. So this underscores what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, that this is a prophetic picture. The people who are answering what God said to Abraham, that your seed would be in bondage for 400 years in a strange land amongst a strange people, I will come to bring them out with great substance. That's not 4,000 years ago. That's happening right now. It's interesting that of all the prophets, and the Quran says there's some prophets we mentioned here and some we did not mention. And so there's some prophets that are mentioned in the Bible that aren't in the Holy Quran. And the ones that are in the Quran, it's because their lives are going to relate to Muhammad. But the most mentioned prophet is not Prophet Muhammad. In a revelation that God chose Prophet Muhammad to bring this revelation through, but the most mentioned prophet is Moses. So what would somebody in Arabia have to do with Moses when they weren't in slavery? What would somebody in Arabia have to do with a people who have been in servitude to another people, namely a king who had made himself a god over the people? He had nothing, and those people in that land had nothing to do with that. They never were in slavery. They were just caught in sin. They were in an incorrect, haram is not slavery. Haram is a incorrect state of living. You only need the right teaching to put you on the right path. Are you following now? But to free a people means you got to break every chain that's on them. And so that is the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And to understand Moses and Aaron and their work is to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the proper light today. And the people who have a proper view of God's man in any dispensation, it extends your range of vision. And the people that have an improper view of them, then you can't see them. And you can't see what they're prophesying for you. That's why the Quran says they deny any knowledge that they can't compass. If you don't understand it, then you just say it's not true. So you're in the basement and somebody else is on the rooftop. You can't even see down Germantown, but the person on the rooftop could see New Jersey. But you're in denial of what they could see, even though you're not on their level. That's what you look like arguing with the Honorable Louis Farrakhan today. You're nowhere on the level that God has put him on and that he has evolved to. And you don't even give yourself the benefit to investigate what he has reported to you, even as the scripture says, who would believe our report? So our subject is talking about making our own neighborhoods, the zip codes that we live in, a safe and decent place to live. You can't make something safe, and you can't make anyone safe when nobody's safe around you. So you have to be a person who is given and inclined to peace. Well, why are you all fighting against, certain elements in the country? Yes, we speak out strongly against evil that goes on in our neighborhoods, that goes on in our city, our states, the country, and even the world. Because peace and love ain't supposed to coexist with wickedness and sin. So you can't walk around like some of the countries are doing with the Western powers, collaborating with them about guns and everything, and you're in Ramadan talking about peace. Already, you can see why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said what the human family needs of the planet Earth is a man that's totally uninvolved in present world corruption. You can't even get the truth from the news, because every news station, when we did the Million Family March, they've been purchased by corporations. And the corporations need ratings to increase profits. And they increase profits by increasing viewership. And so to get more people to listen to them as opposed to someone else, they slant the news. And when I say they slant it, they don't report everything. See, the only kind of man that would be totally uninvolved with present world corruption is somebody that God is educating. It'd have to be somebody that God has had a sole hand on shaping and fashioning for this day. He has to be a man that will tell someone when they're wrong, whether it be near of kin, whether it be one of their own followers. In fact, because corruption has seeped in everywhere, God's judgment can't even start in the world. It got to start in his own house. He's not going to judge Russia before he deal with this mosque. He's not going to judge Britain or France or Germany before he deal with this mosque. God's going to deal with his own house first. He's going to show that he's a just God. The world has seen us live. I know I've lived for 43 years under strong gun legislation. Check procedure at the door tells me I can't even bring a gun with me. And if you got a gun, you got to leave it somewhere. Once I became a member of the Fruit of Islam, I wasn't allowed to even keep a gun in my home. The one thing a gun will show Allah is that I don't trust him. Even though the Quran says he's an excellent protector. A man had a gun and wanted to kill the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with it. He reached in and got the gun, but he couldn't get his hand out to pull the trigger. A God had arrested his thought. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this God that I represent to you, he knows how to kill your thought when you even dreaming of doing evil to a righteous person. They're dropping a lot of stuff now. There's a lot of bombs dropping on a lot of places. But let me tell you something. You ain't seen nothing till you put your hand on a believer. See, because God got a dreadful plane in the sky. Take it or let it alone. There's backup here. We don't call on any of it, but the times is growing increasingly hostile. And if you want to be a Muslim today, you got to be alert. Because they're drumming up language now. The bill that they want to put on the floor to pass, if they get that, they're one more step toward outlawing Islam altogether. Now, this is where we have to understand our program. Our program is to bring peace to our community. We ought to be able to live peaceably with each other. But see, the one thing we want to do, we want to get the criminals and lock them up. The first criminal we got to stop from even coming in amongst us is them. Everywhere you look, it's the Caucasian that's saying they don't feel safe in Philadelphia. How many of us got to be locked up before they feel safe? I'm praying to a God that said he know how to protect me. I feel safe. But I know a lot of people don't feel safe. So if we're going to build something that's lasting and it's going to be peace, God got to be the standard.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Don't say you ain't got time to talk about God. Ain't a program out here that can help us except a program that God is behind. One that God designed. That's the one the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave to us, the Nations program. And it starts with peace. When Mr. Muhammad opened the temples in America, you got put out if they caught you arguing. Not because you can't argue, but the Quran says if you're going to argue, argue in the best manner. But you yelling at each other and doing all that kind of stuff, oh no, y'all got to go. Why? He said because you drive Allah's spirit out of the house. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is showing us the biggest trap that we're going to get caught in. And Sister Ava wasn't the one. She was really bringing up what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that he would lose most of his followers when Master Fard Muhammad was about to fulfill his promise. This is how hard he's working. So the minister said to us, the devil is working to get us all. He won't get us all. He said, but I want you to know what's in his mind. He wants to get us all. He don't want you to make it. I read to you a letter that he gave us maybe the year that God closed his mouth so he could begin to see what God had put in his mouth to say and watch it come to pass. Because the Lord said, you know, my word is not void. Wheresoever I speak my word, like the rain comes down from heaven and causes the earth to swell and herbage to come forth, so is my word that wheresoever I send it, it's not void. It's going to bring a return. And so whatever the Lord told him to say was coming, sometimes you can't pay attention to the truth of what you spoke if you're still talking. So God made him be quiet. And he said he was trying to figure out what to do when he was quiet. And all of a sudden he heard Bishop T.D. Jakes teaching a subject about being quiet and the value that the Bible was teaching out of that. And he said that watered his soul because, see, he said if you're closed to truth because of a label, then you're going to pass up a lot of truth today that will come our way that will help us, especially in the days coming. Your ears should be open to hear the truth. Do you know when you listen for God in people, it keeps you from being an envious person? You know, nobody that envies somebody is doing better than the person that they envy. You know, so they always see that person as doing something better. Somebody's either trying to pull you down. Then you notice in the history of Samson, the Lord gave him a vow. And the vow was to hold a secret, and symbolically his power, his strength was tied into 7 locks in his hair. So when they got Delilah to work on him and put him to sleep, look at the first thing they did. They went to shave his head. See, when people want to be strong like you, they should have just tried to grow some hair. But people are not interested in being strong like you. They want to make you weak like them. So the object is to shave off whatever is giving you the advantage. Not seeing that the same God that's helping you will help them, that they're already working with an advantage. But envy blinds you. So the nation's program, which is the only thing that's going to help this country, and I'll be honest, it's the only thing that's going to help the world. That's right. Satan's gospel is the gospel of social betterment. You got poor housing, we'll come up with a housing program. You ain't got enough food, we'll come up with a food program. See? You got poor learning going on in your school, we'll come up with an education program. But there's always a program that they come up with that promises to give us better. Look at what the minister said. First of all, we said last week that a program is a set of related measures and activities with a long-term aim. It's a series of coded software instructions to control the operation of a computer or a machine. The code of the original people is righteousness. The power of the human being, particularly the original people, is your righteousness. What we got from the minister was, in the days coming, it is your righteousness that will sustain you. And when the voice said he likes the devil because the devil gives him nothing, how could you like somebody that's not giving you anything? See? But you could be eating the wrong mental food, and it makes you think a certain way. The first thing you think is, there's no knowledge greater than what white people are already giving you. So it frames your mind that, are y'all sure? Talking about black people ruling and black folks coming together and everything. See, what we're looking at in us is a dysfunction that was designed because the father of this world, remember, is a genetic and social engineer. And they know how to set up an environment that will produce the product that he's looking for. Are you all following me now? So when you got an environment of poverty, deprivation, and that you begin to take that in mentally, you're going to start thinking that there's very little chance of anything ever getting any better. The greatest weapon that he has on black people now, how can you slow 50 million black people down? Just give them enough so they create an atmosphere, watch this, of low expectation. Now you got your school, you got a house, you got a store, you got different things and stuff, but you've decided, as long as I got enough money, get me a nice car, and you don't see yourself in any kind of grander position in that. So the expectation that we have of ourselves, even with the knowledge of self, and inshallah, next week we'll bring up that word. It's called epistemicide. But this word means how to kill a person's knowledge. You know, so when you're a social engineer, you know how to set up things to make it look like you're really doing something without doing anything. And they make sure that they're still in power. Look what the minister said, and this is back when he was in the early years over New York City. He said, I learned that the United States government is at a complete loss in its attempt to solve the problems of black people. With all the human, physical, and economic resources at the command of the government, all her programs supposedly designed to change the sickening condition of black people in America are meeting with dismal failure. Millions of black people today have pinned their hopes of an end to their frustration, an end to their poverty on promises of the government. So he made 4 points there. The government has no real program for our intentions of ending poverty among us. See, we're thinking if we can just get the program, it's going to make everything all right. That's a false hope. And that false hope is planted in you from a false promise. The government has no real program to aid in rebuilding black families. This means that the government understands that the black home is broken. And if the black home is broken, then the child is growing up broken. You know, people that hurt other people are already been hurt. And people who break other people is because they've already been broken inside. We got a warped definition of manhood in the hood. And you seem more like a man when you take the life of another man that looks like you. Oh, yeah, he's a strong man. He's a stand-up brother. Well, see, they got us where no one has declared war, but you can see we're on war with each other. when we get some slides together, I'm going to show you how long we went in this country and we weren't allowed to have a gun. 310 years of chattel slavery, you weren't allowed to have a gun. During Jim Crow, you weren't allowed to have a gun. And even when the NAACP and others fought so that you could be in World War I, you weren't allowed to have a gun. Every black person that joined the Army in World War I went to a labor camp. They only let some begin to fight when they started losing battles, and they made sure you were way overseas with that gun. But you weren't allowed here with it. See? The government has no solution to the high unemployment among blacks. I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying the day was coming when she will not be able to employ her own. And because many of her own, meaning the white race, they have graduated from blue-collar work to white-collar work, AI took a lot of them out. This last 2 years, thousands upon thousands of them have gotten laid off. And many of them now who have gone to school and gotten their master's degrees, and they've been in upper institutions, higher institutions of learning for 6 years, and they're still looking for a job, and they're going into their second year. Which means that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's words are beginning to bear fruit. And if you're waiting on somebody to give you something and you could see that his own pockets are empty, and you could say, man, he don't have nothing to give me. And Allah is putting him in that position because he don't want his people begging no more. And Moses prays a prayer in the Quran. Oh, Allah, they won't even listen to your word because they're watching the bling bling. Well, God said, I'm getting rid of the bling and the bling. And when these jobs start drying up and everything, you're going to have to sell that little jewelry. They don't have no solution for high unemployment amongst us. They found that when they talk to many of the young men that are so misguided and they have guns now and they're doing things, when they poll them, you know, they won't say it in front of the homies. 85% of them would rather just work a job. They don't want to live a life where, you know, they're looking over their shoulder, everybody's shooting at everybody, they really don't want to live that kind of life. But they don't know they don't have the courage to just say, look, man, this ain't for me. I'm going over here and do it this way. By the time somebody calls you a punk and you punking out and you're doing, well, you know, you give in. And see, since the end of the 70s, peer pressure is far greater than parental pressure. Peer pressure was far greater than preacher pressure, coach pressure, teacher pressure. So there were no other good role models that were set up in the community. As soon as people made enough money and they saw they did not have the knowledge nor the power to change the community, they changed their address. Right. And by the time your professionals started leaving and going to other communities where they could afford to live there, it left only one role model in the hood for the young men, the dope dealer and the pimp. The government, the minister says, has no real program to reduce the death rate. So we're dying from disease, and one of the diseases is gun violence. And the high count of gun violence death among black people between the ages of 15 and 34. So these are people who are never getting to be 50 or 60 years old. Pretty soon, you won't have no senior citizens. Right. With people dying at that rate. Are you following? I mean, it adds up because of the mindset that is there. And if you talk to some young people, you'll see they don't even think they're going to live to be 45. So you can't talk to them like, well, when you're older, you'll understand. They don't think they're going to live to get older. They think this is it. I got a few more days on earth. I'm going to give it what I got. So gun violence and disease, the Nation of Islam, it went after that in the beginning. With the check room, we went after the gun. And with disease, we gave them how to eat to live. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the weapons that we need are in our house, but we had the wrong mindset. So he had to bring us the right knowledge, because the knowledge we're working with is too weak. This is why the Quran says, and their knowledge reaches not the hereafter. That means the life expectancy of it, and it's got a short range. It can't take you far, in other words. It's branch knowledge. And the white man is giving you, which branch do you want to be in? See, you want to be a Christian or a Muslim, and then when you get to Muslim or Christian, he breaks that off into branches. What branch in that do you want to be? You want to be Sufi, you want Sunni, you want Shiites, you want this, you want to be Nation of Islam, you want to be Moorish Science. No, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us the root, and the root can bring all the branches back together again. Are you following? And the deeper the root that goes in the earth, the minister said, it's symbolic of how far back in our history we can go. And the farther back in history that you can go, it has an effect on your behavior today. What you know now, you could never get in something silly talking about you worshiping God, because you know too much. And what you know, it'll bother you. So you'll be like a fake follower there. Come on, shout, shout. Come on, shout, shout. Well, you know, you messed up now. He told us not to play with this teaching. He told you, don't play with this, because when you go back to something else, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to feel silly. Muhammad Ali, a strong voice when he was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And they managed to take him in another direction. And when the minister saw him in the later years, after some of the Parkinson's had set in, he told the minister, I'm still a nigger. See, no matter what the white folks have done with me, they got me carrying the torch and everything, because, you know, Muslims were saying, you know, our man, he's carrying the torch. Yeah, but see, Muhammad Ali is the one carrying it. And because he's shaking, you thinking he going along with everything, but he told the minister, I'm still a nigger. And the minister said, don't say that, brother. Don't say that you're that. He said, no, I'm still a nigger. Why? Because, see, once you up there, you can see. Time magazine holds these big dinners with billionaires and everything there, and they invite people that they put on the cover of the magazine. So they had put an ugly caricature of the minister on Time magazine when he was a rising star in the country. So they invited him to the dinner. And so he took Mother Khadijah and said, we're going to go. And they went, and these billionaires and stuff, and these people are controlling milk and orange juice and everything in the country. But when them white people started whispering that Farrakhan was in the room, they lined up. They just wanted to shake his hand. Billy Graham, Sharon Stone, all these people that were lined up in there. See, when you stand on something in this world, the people that's in darkness, they ain't got nowhere else to go but to the light. And the light is walking with Farrakhan today. He is the light of the world while he is in the world. And he was promised by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, brother, Allah is going to take you to the pinnacle of success, not in the next world, in this world's life, while Satan is still in charge. Why would they line up? They realize a new boss is on the earth. Why would they get in line? Except they realize rulership is changing hands. So, The minister started us off, let this mind be in you, the one that was in Christ Jesus. Why? Because when Master Farad Muhammad came, he had already studied 42 years. The question wasn't what we were in. The question was, what do I teach them now based on the condition that they're in so they can receive it? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the minister told us when he prayed with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad never did salat. He said every time he prayed with him, he did the dua. He wasn't against it because he gave us a prayer book in 1957. But a new Islam is coming, nevertheless. A sister said to me on the radio, how can you have a new Islam? And I said, sister, when the knowledge of a thing increases, it always changes the practice. Just because you say Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet, the end of prophethood is not the end of revelation. Yes, something greater he was already pointing to. Yes, sir. In the Hadith, Prophet Muhammad said the Mahdi would come. Yes, sir. Well, what's he going to talk about when he comes? See? Except revelation. So out of the mouth of the man that you saying is the last one to come with a revealed word from God, out of his own mouth, he's telling you somebody else is coming. Yes, sir. They know in the world of Christendom that Jesus' work is not finished. Even though on the cross, he's made to say, it is finished. But they know it's not finished. That's why they say he's coming back. So you ask yourself, well, if he did it all, if he paid it all, what's he coming back for? You got a right to ask a question. Abraham asked God a question. He questioned God. Would you kill all the people in Sodom and Gomorrah if there were 50 righteous? He said, well, if there are 50 righteous, I'll save them. Then he said, well, what about 40? What about 30? What about 20? He wanted to get down to 10. God says, show me one. I know what I'm doing. But nevertheless, Abraham questioned him with the right spirit. So there's a scripture that says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and a government shall be on his shoulders. Now, the only part of the human form that sits above the shoulders, sits right in between them, is the head. So the government, the germ of a new civilization and government is already prophesied in the book of Isaiah. A man would come and the germ of that new civilization would be in his head. We're already taught from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He told us Master Farad Muhammad would be the God forever. Yes, sir. That's right. His wisdom, you think you got it all now. So I got everything. And then this is just a wake-up message. That's right. Right now, on this day of 2026, I'm standing in the kindergarten of his wisdom. Yes, sir. Teach, brother. There are levels and grades to go that we haven't even arrived at yet. What about the book that he wrote with his own hand? And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad took the book and said the book can't even be dealt with until this man's power is broken. That's a whole period called the hereafter. See, when the Negro mind, he's got a kindergarten understanding of God and religion. Yes, sir. So we just think, well, I just believe, and when I die, I'm going to be with the Lord. I'm going to heaven. That's the false thing they taught us, and this is why very little is being done now. He puts a low expectation on the black community by telling you your treasures are after you die. Your freedom come after you die. Your justice will be after you die. Your equality will be after you die. Don't expect nothing here while you walking with me. You don't know you already in death while you walking with him. You already died. Real life didn't come till Master Farad Muhammad came and gave us life when we had none. Yeah. So a government would be on his shoulders. And he put a picture of a white man as Jesus for years. He went as long as he could get away with it. And he would be saying, this white man is going to bring the government that pleases God. But the same white man that's saying that already has a government. We know that government. And we know how it deals with us. See? And his government is failing, and he has a government, but we don't. So what kind of heaven would that be for us if heaven means we got to wait till he come and set the government up in heaven? What we don't realize is that all this is going to be done on earth. The Negro mind is like this. Ask him, where'd the rain come from? First thing we do is look up. But when you go to Mr. Muhammad's lessons, he don't have you look up, he has you look down. Huh? And tells you the earth is approximately covered 3/4 of its surface with water. The water that comes down from the sky started from the earth. And it comes up in a fine mist that the naked eye can't detect, right? And once it passes through different currents in that, pretty soon it'll start distilling back to the earth. And based on the climate and the currents that it encounters on its way down, it determines the form that the water will be in, but it's still water. That's right. Go ahead. That's what Brother Ishmael was talking about. We got water in 3 forms. You got a gas when it's steamed. You got liquid when it comes down, but if it's cold enough, ice comes down, even in the form of snow. So no, what appears to be one way is actually something else. Well, you know, the sun rose this morning. I said, where did it rise? In the east. But in truth, the earth turned into the sun. Didn't it? It didn't go down and then come up like that. No, the planet is inclined 23.5 degrees to the plane of its orbit. And the planet is moving all around as it makes its way around the sun and makes its rotation and its subsequent orbit around the sun. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it couldn't stand upright. One part of the earth would get continuous, uninterrupted light, which means another part would get continuous, uninterrupted darkness. But so that every area of the earth is serviced, he said it moves around, and in its rotation, it's revolving around so that every area of life, that's to teach us. See, that because the earth is a symbol of the nature of the original people. That's why I say earth is the home of Islam. And Islam is practiced that everything submits to Allah. As big as the mountains are, they submit. As big as the earth is, it submits. And the mountains and the earth, they've seen generations and civilizations come and go. Which means we should submit. But the way you approach God in the way he wants you, that means light gets into every area of your life. Because when the light of God don't come in certain areas of your life, then those areas are unsupervised. And without divine supervision, you could end up right at the door. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I will lose most of my followers when the Savior gets ready to fulfill his promise. A couple of things before we close out. The white man fell on all fours in the caves, and you'll see it even here. But he bears witness to it in the museums. Not only does he go, imagine somebody coming from another country and the police stop in Washington at Arlington Park and just see somebody over there digging up old presidents and generals and stuff. Say, what are you doing? They'll call it a federal offense or something. That person will get arrested. And I don't know what kind of sentence they would get, but it would be pretty hefty. But they go in other people's country and dig up graves and then take the remains back to their country and put it on display. Now, this should show us they never lived in these neighborhoods. See, if they'd been around and grew up with these people, they wouldn't even bother to dig them up. They weren't here. And when we start talking about who wasn't here, these folks weren't here. They're fighting a country. Do you know how old Iranian civilization is? This thing dates back. The Persian Empire and all of this. And in 1950, they had elections like we had. They were doing all right. They elected their leadership. They voted. Nobody forced them. And once their leadership got in, they said, well, why should somebody else in Europe own the oil? It's our land. Imagine somebody come in your backyard and they pulling gold and oil and stuff out. You trying to pay your mortgage. And they getting, just come on now. So they nationalized, in 1953, they nationalized the oil. Just before 1953. And the CIA here, according to the books, worked inside Iran, staged a coup, got Mossadegh out, right? And installed the Shah of Iran. And the Shah ruled for 25 years. A repressive rule. Savak was his goon squad. They would come around and get anybody that spoke out against the Shah. So these people are used to strong, repressive type government and everything. Yes, and if you think they're trying to want something that they have over here, they don't want a gay parade over there. Right. Just because you got these people, see, they have gay parades in Israel. This is haunting that whole region, that neighborhood. They don't like that kind of stuff. But see, these folks are not the ones that was in the Bible. These people come from Europe. And so what you're getting ready to find is that there's a resolve over there that's not like here. They don't do a lot of whining when it comes to war. That's why you already see millions and millions of them behind the new leadership after they killed the other one. So now they're trying to hurry up and kill this one. It's like you watching The Godfather or something. Barzini or somebody. They're trying to get, so follow the Final Call newspaper. At Jumar, we just read from what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said and what I was making sure I did after each thing that I read the date when he said it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It went back as far as 2008. Then we had 2016, 2017, 2019. It was like he just said it.
Yes, sir.
If I hadn't told the dates, it would have looked like we heard Farrakhan just said this, that. He hadn't said anything in 2 years. See here, there's been nothing that he said. But all this was said way before, is what I want you to know. And I hope every Muslim go and read your Final Call newspaper and see what your leader and teacher said. And ask yourself, where did he get that from? How could he know detailed like what they were going to do, how they were going to step, and what he's even telling you what the outcomes are going to be. You can't win war until you break the will of the people that you fight. Taking away a few creature comforts don't make them fall down. But you let them take some creature comforts here. They're already arguing with it. See, when your nation goes to war, generally your citizens are not out on public platforms criticizing you. But not here.
Right.
So look what they did to us. Someone said that there are two characteristics of the Negro, or two kinds, inborn and inbred. Inborn and inbred. Inborn qualities are ineradicable because they belong to the blood. They constitute individuality. Look at this. These qualities are independent, or nearly so. They're independent of time and habitat. But inbred qualities are acquired and the result of experience. They may be overcome by a reversal of the process which created them. See, inbred means that somebody took the nature of the original man and woman and they tampered with our characteristics. That's inbred. The worst version of a black person in America can be changed now that this knowledge has come. And we got to believe that. Because if you don't believe that, then you don't believe you can be changed. But you know how long you have been here, and you know some kind of change has taken place in you. There's still work to be done. But we don't have to sit here like nothing has been done since I met Louis Farrakhan. And all he has used is a word. There's been no coercion. Nobody put a gun to our head. Nobody threatened us. We came willingly. We stayed willingly. And if we feed, like he's pleading to us to feed, we will grow willingly. And that's because there's no altering Allah's creation. What Allah did to us, you'd have to be able to destroy him in order to alter his creation. We are his creation. And the minister said, you cannot see Allah's creation properly without his help. So when I'm in the mirror, even though it seems like the mirror ought to take care of everything, I really need Allah's help to see myself properly. As a righteous man, living with high expectations. If I don't have high expectations, how the hell am I going to build a high civilization? Civilization means knowledge. To be the best is to want the best for yourself and for your brother and sister. Huh? Knowledge. Come on now. Knowledge of self, man. So let me close with something the minister said. Man, it's so powerful. And you know, he's just teaching us with love. But if you just soak these words in, you almost feel yourself changing if you're receiving it. He says, the knowledge of self is the greatest of all knowledge. Let's stop there. So it's a lot of things we can get knowledge about. But there's nothing greater than us learning who we are. He said it is akin to the knowledge of Allah God. Both of these knowledges, which is really one, is the key to our return to God, return to self, and look at this, return to power. We're always hearing about black empowerment. But black empowerment should be God empowerment. But God's not mentioned in empowerment zone talk. That's why we still in the zone and don't have no power. The study of ourselves as black people, parentheses, original people of the earth, must never be abandoned. We must know ourselves historically. We must know ourselves historically and know that we didn't start in 1619. We didn't even start in 1555. We didn't even start 50,000 years ago. See, the root ain't going far enough in the earth. We reach deep back into history. And we go all the way back beyond 66 trillion years ago. We had a call out. And in the call out, we borrowed fire from the sun that Allah put out there after 6 billion years. Oh, it took some time. 6 trillion of them. But the sun is sitting out there belching fire. We borrowed from that and put stars out. You justify, I justify my existence when I reach into Allah's creation and build. The white man was in the cave. We didn't send a government over there with a program. Musa came and taught them. They took what he taught them, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said they came out of the cave, they started building villages and townships. Now they got cities and whole nations over there in Europe. That was West Asia. We called it Europe after we put them there. They work with a teaching alone from a prophet. We being taught by a God. We're in the classroom of a God. We ought to be able to handle Germantown, North Philly, West Philly, South Philly, the state of Pennsylvania. Claim something. We got to learn who we are biologically. You're a stronger human being than the man who was grafted. They intended to hide us where nobody would ever know where we went. But because this is a world of sport and play, God took sport and play, caused the slave to rise to the top. White men were boxing, so Jack Johnson came along. So people started looking from Europe and everything. Oh, that's a black man. They over there? See? In play and entertainment and all that, our artists start getting up, going to Europe. In Europe, they got Second Life. There's no Jim Crow in Europe. And a lot of them, though they could be said to be racist, they colonized many of our people in Africa, but they didn't go through what they went through in the South in this country. So our artists, long thing short, we were dotting that whole continent with Muddy Waters and Bessie Smith and just all kind of singers that we sent over there. Quincy Jones was over there because he refused to play in the Jim Crow South. He made a big name in Europe before he got big here. So, biologically, we were at the bottom of civilization. And on top of the earth, you can see things that are of value, but the richest things are deep in the earth. Diamonds, gold, cobalt, uranium, things that they need for civilization, they're at the bottom. So the white man's civilization was like that. He buried us at the bottom, but that's where the real jewels were. The average white girl, I remember growing up, the average white girl had to take piano lessons or they had to play some instrument. And generally the son and the daughters were all being put there, especially when they left the inner cities and they were going to the suburban sites and everything. But you never read about a historical pianist or violinist or anyone that really stood out in history. They've had some good ones. But down at the bottom of civilization where we live, Ray Charles never took a piano lesson. His mama didn't have no money. They didn't even have a piano. But man, he could just play it. Allah put that in it. See, God has been showing us he's always been, he stored us with great gifts. Aretha Franklin never took piano lessons, but she could get on there and play just as well as anybody that had sat under the best teachers. They could hear a note and go. I could go on with the different artists and that. Our brother from West Philadelphia, Coleman Domingo, now he's going to be playing Nat King Cole. And that's all the minister kept talking about when we were in Detroit. He was going back over a man who wrote a song and then he gave it to Nat King Cole to sing, but it really touched him about an enchanted boy growing up. But we're going to learn more and more about these artists that just came up with no real musical instruction, but it was all built in. That's the work of our God. And you're hiding us, but with sport and play, they wanted to make money off of us and use us for merchandise, so we rose to the top very quickly. So look what he said. We got to know who we are genetically. You ever heard of Dr. Shockley? Dr. Shockley was putting forth, asserting an argument around the planet that black people were genetically inferior. So let's just say you think you got the knowledge yourself and you're walking around, but then some white man say, I got proof that genetically you're really inferior to me. So you better learn about who you are genetically. And so Mendel found out, studying the genes, that the black gene, the darker one, the dominant one, it could produce the recessive gene. But what they found about the recessive gene, it can't produce the dominant one. We should never abandon the study of ourselves. We should always be reading a periodical or article or something. They're bearing witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not a liar. And God is making them tell the truth today. And then the minister said, but we must also go to the root of ourselves, which is the knowledge of the nature in which we were created. And why? Because the circumstance that brings a thing into existence determines its nature. Right. And the circumstance that brought you and I into existence was submission to God. That's why we passed the 3 great tests to get here. The life germ had to be chosen out of billions. That's right. It had to swim through a combination of chemicals designed to destroy it. Yes, sir. Quick thinking, yes, fast moving. Brain wasn't there. Right. Eyes weren't there. No, but he knew where he was going. Yes, and he knew how to get there quickly. Don't take a lot of time. And then the last trial, the messenger said, it went upstream against the laws of gravity to mate with the egg. He said, what you face getting here, you'll never face anything after being here greater than what it took for you to get here. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody about your value and your capability. You just got to prove it to yourself. Huh? Because the God already put us through a test. And he said, when we go to the root of ourselves, the nature we were created in, it's the essence of self-knowledge. Master Prophesied Muhammad called us all Muslims. He said this is an indication that our real nationality does not come from the earth or a particular landmass, for national boundaries are actually artificial. We are from the earth. See? The earth belongs to who? The original black man. Didn't say a country, the earth. So that's an artificial barrier. We are from the earth, but the essence of us is from Allah. That's why I'm always saying in the janazah, when we are interment in that, well, this goes back to the earth. But you can't put the essence of Allah in the earth. Essence of Allah that's in us is too big for any coffin. Huh? You can't contain that. That's already gone when we get to the janazah. The soul goes back where it came from. The essence goes back where it came from. It didn't come from the earth, it came from the God who created it. Well, what he give me his essence for, and it didn't come from here, and he knows the rest of me was made up from here, because he wants you to be a master over it. And soon as you get this man out of the way, I expect you to take your post and all temple property in view. So we don't refer to ourselves as members of a nation tied to a particular landmass, but we are directly tied to the Creator and the nature in which we were created. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we are members of the Creator's nation, so we must act accordingly. So we are the lost found members of the Nation of Islam. Our natural home is the entire planet Earth. This is why the actual facts and the student enrollment, Master Prophesied Muhammad asked us the total area of the planet Earth. How much is the land? How much is the water? See, and the square miles of all of it. Now look at this. English lesson C number 1 asks the question, how many original Muslims are there in North America? The answer at that time of that writing in the early 30s, it was a little over 17 million. The question is then asked, did I hear you say that some of the 17 million do not know that they are Muslims? The answer is yes, sir. Well, I hardly believe that unless they're blind, deaf, and dumb. Well, they were made blind, deaf, and dumb by the devil when they were babies. And the minister he goes on to talk about how that's a handicap and that. But I think you get the point. To build the program, which is built, and to exercise a program that's going to bring to our community what we deserve, you need God first. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad never took God out from any economic program that he engaged. And he gave us a model and he gave us a sign of what could be done. What we had before is nothing to what we can do now with the technology. And we're doing it at a time that the world is falling and the government is unraveling. And we should not unravel in our faith. This is a time that he's hoping to weaken us in our faith. And he does that by inviting the wrong kind of thinking into the original man and woman. And we got to combat that. Don't think with emotion, think with your mind. And let your mind rise above your emotional state so you can guide your emotions. God is emotional, but he ain't killed us all yet. But ain't nobody angrier than God. Thank you for listening as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praise is due to Allah. We have to continue, when we have more time, but family, coming from Chicago, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan obviously has timed this work. This work is timed to deal with a period where the rest of the world is going to have to stop working. And idle time is the devil's workshop. So we have to get busy like the bees that were working in the time of Samson. We have so much more in this year coming of things that we're doing, but the minister said sometimes the hammer is working, the chisel and all that, but you don't hear the noise in the quarry because this is a spiritual work building us up into the kind of house that we need to be. And so it's a great spiritual work, and the way to really learn this is to learn it together. That's not just to get you out of everything, but that's to say this work wasn't designed to succeed with one person doing it alone. It's the unity of us that starts here to build the rest of the community into being convinced that it's the way out. And the more we're doing out there like that, the harder it's going to be to demagnetize us. The enemy's work starts with the father of this world playing with some magnets. And he knows if you can draw people when you're doing good, if all the people experiencing is evil and you're doing good, that's a draw. And if you a draw, they got to find something to put on you so it can demagnetize you and make people not want to be around you, make people want to stay away from you, and that means they'll run from the water, run from the light, into the fire and into the darkness. So his powers of deception are going to work real hard to convince you that there's another way. So I'm going to tell you what the minister told me before I left Detroit. He said, you don't know the way. You don't know the way. Yeah, you can recite the lesson. Yeah, you can do the, but you don't know the way. Whatever you have learned, it should have taught you to wait on this God. But you don't know the way. And people who have gotten restless, they haven't risen, emotion has risen above them. And they're being pulled and yanked by their emotions. They can't wait. So already they have decided who the minister is and who he is not. I can't make those decisions. God makes them. And if we study him, he makes them manifest to us who he is. Nobody can claim nothing without showing us the outer workings of your job description. Huh? If you the person with the light and I'm in a dark room, if you do something with the wires and the light come on, I know you know something about what you're doing. I got a reason to at least listen to you. But you got to ask yourself, how many of these people are turning your spiritual light on? No. So this is a time to walk what they call sober-minded. Don't get drunk in nobody's philosophy. No, sir. God is here to put you in a sober mindset so you could think. He wants you to be like him. Be able to see the whole picture. And if we working like Noah, because folk can talk you down from the right platform that you're on. But what Noah did, he prayed to Allah, can you free me from the people thinking I'm a liar? Can you stop somebody from thinking about me and calling me a liar? And you know what Allah did? He said, go and build this thing. I'm going to get some tools and start. And what he found out, every time he hit a nail, it was so much noise. It drowned out the critics. And as the people kept taking the crude planks and nails, and they was working in the quarry, that noise was drowning out the noise of the critics and those who were disputing and those who had gone into disbelief and the hypocrites and the government and the agents and everybody that's trying. But if you're not working, you're not coming together, you'll start falling apart. And the Quran says when Allah questions them on taking you out the house and making you go astray, they're gonna give you up and throw you under the bus. I was looking if you've been reading your Quran, it tells you what they do once they succeed in pulling you away from the light. Then they start saying, I had nothing to do with that. They did this on their own. Yeah, but Allah promises they're going to get a double portion because he know who worked it. So anyone out for their first time today? All right, so everybody's been out. If you're out for your first, second, or third time or better, you know, this is a time that if you feel, and I guess if you've been back more than once, maybe we pricked your interest, God willing. But if not, nevertheless, it's up to us because we can't speak for God and what he does. But if God has touched you in a way that you say, you know, I want to answer Minister Louis Farrakhan's call. The Quran tells us don't take your calls to one another. Don't handle the way you deal with one another like, you know, because you give yourself an option. Well, I told him I was going to be by, but I ain't going. Don't do the messenger like that, you know. But nevertheless, an invitation to Islam has come out. Is there anyone that feels so today that you want to come forth in a way to let the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan know through we, his helpers here in Philadelphia, that I'd love to be a part of this family because we're on a mission now to change everything out there. We just realize we can't change nothing until we change. And so we have to, all praises due to Allah. Our sister. Oh, my sister, how you doing? What's your name?
I was born in the nation.
You were brought in the nation.
Yeah, but I just had some.
Yes, ma'am.
So, but God got me still.
Are you willing to come back out
Yes.
and learn with the sister? Well, come on now. She's been in the nation now. All right. She know how it go. Huh? All praises. Tell me your name again.
About Sister Denise, but my
Sister Denise. All praises due to Allah. Come on, man. Come on. All praises due to Allah. So family, as she does that, you know, praise be to Allah. So we'll be in touch. this week coming. We got delicious dinners on sale today. Brother Joseph will tell us more about it. Now, if you don't have this book, The National Agenda, it's only $5. But you got to remember, we put this book out in 2000. We went back 5 years after the Million Man March. And we put this together. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called on Ben Chavis to go among black leaders all over the country and organizations to get input. And let's put something together that's workable for our people so we can begin to take the steps. So everything in here from healthcare, voting, immigration, all of this, we were dealing with this in 1999. There's very little out here talking about today that we didn't have incorporated in this book. And of course, divine guidance is in there from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and Dr. Cornel West, NAACP, many others have put into this, but it's a public policy issue analysis and a programmatic plan of action. And so for $5, you can have that and begin to start going through it, but the real gut root problems in this land are being discussed here. They're not talking about this on CNN, MS Now, or Fox News, or anywhere, but you can find out all of that right here in this plan of action, the national agenda put together by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's divine instruction. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Brother Joseph, and I'll be here if anybody wants the book and didn't have one, but you may want to get some for somebody else in your home. The more of us that are reading this, I'm on my fourth case from going around the city and in some places in the region, but I won't be satisfied till this book is read all over the city. I would be doing that with Torchlight for America, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan ordered them not to print anymore. I think he wants a lot of updated data in the Torchlight for America. The message is timely, but the data that's in it, it dates back to a period now, and there's a whole new set of numbers that we're working with in the economy today. And until that's done, I don't think he's going to do a reprint on the Torchlight for America. So we couldn't get any of those, but I can tell you this national agenda is going. Yes, so thank you very much again, and God willing, we'll see you next Sunday. We're going to still talk about the nation's program, a divine plan for salvation. If the white man can come out the cave and build something just from what Moses taught him, and he's doing all this right here, I'm going to pay attention to what I have here, starting with the lessons and going to the scriptures that are open up, because these lessons unlock the secrets hidden in the scriptures. And the minister said these lessons unlock the power in the nature of the original people. And these lessons close the door on 66 trillion years of rebellion against God. All right, so let's receive Brother Joseph.
All praise is due to Allah. Let's give him another round of applause. Our Delaware Valley Shooting Regional Minister Rodney Muhammad for a wonderful, wonderful delivery this morning of the lecture, making our homes or our communities a decent and safe place to live. So, dear family, very quickly, our time has been very well spent. I'll cover the announcements, and immediately thereafter, we'll close with prayer. Number one, it's still Savior's Day season. The season will continue throughout March until the 31st. The season begins on April 1st, the new season, and until further notice, please continue to complete your gift to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the form of a Savior's Day gift. And an added note, Staple Goods portal is actually or officially open. If you want more information, please see Sister Gina Muhammad, who is the coordinator of the Staple Goods in the DVR. So, Sister Gina, if you could raise your hand, please. Everybody that don't know her, that's Sister Gina. Okay, thank you. Praise be to Allah. Also, the Night of Power, Tuesday, March the 17th, is the Night of Power. National invites you to tune in online through the Nation's program to this monumental event. Check your emails for more detail. Eid al-Fitr, preparing for Eid. Please check your email for a survey titled Claim Your Post. Please review the email and link and claim your post accordingly. The culmination of Ramadan 2026 will conclude with Eid al-Fitr on Friday, March the 20th. More information to come regarding the intended festivities. Also, Brotherhood Day is back. It's Brotherhood Day number 7, Saturday, March the 28th, beginning at 5 p.m. Come to the Church of the Advocate, 1801 West Diamond Street. The entrance is from Diamond Street, or from Diamond and 18th Street. Another episode of Brotherhood, Community, and Connection. And the next Believers meeting is fasting approaching, and it is scheduled for Wednesday, April the 1st. The meeting is scheduled to begin at 8:30 p.m. at the conclusion of our local meeting, which starts at 7 p.m. If you are currently not receiving correspondence via email, please see the Ministry of Information at the back of the room at the tables before leaving. And dinner sales, we have dinner on sale today. Please stop and get one before you're leaving. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, correction. Staple goods ordering starts on the 22nd.
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay.
And Brother Dante is the coordinator, Brother David is his assistant, and I'm distribution.
See, I'm so glad she's available because I had to pencil in everything. I just told, make the announcement. There was nothing typed up. So I was going, I was playing it by ear. All praises due to Allah. Thank you, Sister Gina, for that update and the correction. All praises due to Allah. So, dear family, again, thank you all for being here. And if all hearts and minds are at ease, let us close with prayer. In the manner in which you are most comfortable, follow along silently. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the one God to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, Master of the day of judgment in which we now live, thee alone do we serve and thee alone do we beseech for aid. O Allah, guide us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray after hearing thy teaching. Say, He, Allah, is one. Allah is He upon whom we all depend. He neither beget, nor is He begotten, and there is none like Him. I bear witness that none deserves to be served or worshipped besides Allah, who appeared to us in the personage of Master W. Farrakhan Muhammad. We're eternally grateful to him for giving to his wise choice in the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank the two of them for not leaving us comfortless and giving to us their leader, their servant, our leader, teacher, and guide in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And it's in their names we pray. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum, family.